Now that you've done your sun salutation, it's time to go through our yoga postures. First one, Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Go to the front of your mat, feet hip width apart or big toes touching, heels slightly apart. Inhale up, exhale, hinge at the hips, forward and down. Relax into this pose. It's a nice passive pose, let gravity do its work. From here you can bend the knees a little bit to protect the back. If the back feels a little bit too tight, this can feel really nice. Bent knees, back to relax, head relaxed, hands reaching towards the ground. It's not important if they get there today. They don't have to get there today. Here you should feel a stretch in the posterior chain, all in the back of the legs, the hamstrings, the glutes, and maybe a little bit in the back. If bending the knees has allowed you to relax your back, maybe now you can work on straightening those knees a bit and seeing what that does to the pose, seeing how it changes it. Your arms can stay on the ground or you can cross your arms to help release the shoulders, neck, and head. This is Uttanasana. Ut meaning intense, Tan meaning to stretch, and Asana meaning yoga pose. One of the things that's helpful in this pose is not to think about moving your head down, but think about moving your hips up. That's a cue that I think works for a lot of people. Let's go out of the pose now. Roll one vertebrae at a time to stack them on top of your hips, starting with your lower back, your mid back, upper back, then shoulders, neck, and head. Step back with one leg, take a wide stance, all 10 toes pointed forward, and then hinge forward in this direction, a wide-legged forward fold. If your hands reach the ground, that's great. Maybe they don't, and that's fine too. You can keep your hands on your hips and just stay here. If your hands reach the ground, you might want to experiment with trying to straighten out your back instead of having it rounded. Another option is to reach your arms behind you and walk your hands away to help you fold forward. You can also play with the distance that your feet are placed. You can walk your feet out a little bit further, which will give you more of a groin stretch, a hip adductor, rather than the stretch that we had in the previous pose, which was a stretch for the posterior chain. Whatever option you choose, make sure you're breathing and enjoying the stretch. Wide-legged forward fold. Next, we're going out of the pose to warrior two, so bring the hands to the hips, chin points up, and then torso comes upright. We're going to set up our feet for our warrior two, so point the front foot so toes go to the front. Bend that knee and take a peek down at that toe. You should still see the big toe of that foot. If the knee is blocking it, it means the knee snuck in a bit too much, so keep the knee rotating externally. Don't let the butt stick out either. Keep the butt under and then lift the arms up. Warrior two. You can turn your head so your gaze looks over the front fingers, but notice that you're not turning your shoulders, not turning your hips, only your head and neck. See if you can sink a little bit deeper into the pose. Take a peek to see if your big toe is still visible, and always an option, close your eyes and focus on your breath. Virabhadrasana 2. Virabhadra was a fierce mythical warrior, and they named the pose after him. So if you'd like to switch your stance so you can keep looking at the video wherever you're looking at it, you can do that, or you can just go to the other side and stare at the back wall for a while. Bend that front knee. Again, check on the toes, see how they're doing. If they're blocked from view, chances are that knee needs to rotate externally a little bit more. Back leg is straight, toes pointed straight out to the side, hips, shoulders, head, arms. Warrior two. Take a peek at the toe again. You're good. Don't let your butt stick out. Tuck it underneath. And close your eyes for a little extra challenge. Sink deep into the pose and breathe. Warrior two. Sense the opposition in your arms. An ode to the fierce warrior. Nice. We're going to come out of the pose now, so lower your arms, straighten that back leg, point the toes forward, and step to the front of your mat. Next, we're doing our tree pose. So you're going to balance on one foot, lift the other foot off the ground. You got three options. One, leave the toes on the ground, heel just touches the shin. Option number two, sole of the foot goes against the calf. Option number three, probably with the help of the hands, place the foot above the knee and push it into the upper thigh. You don't want to put pressure on the knee. The knee's not really great at receiving lateral pressure, so you keep it in either above or below the knee. Hands can go to your hips, together in front of your chest, or you can reach overhead
in the full expression of tree pose. Close your eyes for an excellent balance challenge, or keep them open at a fixed point, and breathe. Vriksasana, tree pose. Vriksha meaning tree, you guessed it. And then lower the arms down to the ground, point the knee forward, and lower that foot down to the other side. Shake out your legs a bit. Bring the other foot up to option 1, option 2, or option 3. If you're putting it in option 3, it's important that you're pushing your foot into your thigh and pushing your thigh into your foot to maintain some stability. Hands can either go at the hips, heart center, hands together in front of your chest, or reach the arms overhead in the full expression of the pose. Eyes closed for an amazing balance challenge, or keep your eyes open in Vriksasana, the tree pose. Focus on your breathing in and out through the nose, and work on that balance. This is great work for your ankles and your toes, great work for the balance. And slowly lower your arms down, either back to heart center, back to the hips. Point the knee forward, and then with control, lower it down. We're gonna move down a little bit to the floor, so you're gonna need to move your toes out a bit, take a wide stance, maybe mat width apart, and lower your bum down to the ground in a deep squat. As you do that, make sure your knees track over your toes, not inward. Over your toes as you lower down into your squat. You can keep your heels on the ground as you go down, power to you, keep going. But if your heels need to come off, that's okay. What's not okay is for your knees to come in and your arches to collapse and you to load your knees laterally. Not good. So you find yourself in a deep squat position. You can put your elbows on the inside of your knees or legs and push your hands together to get a little bit of an extra stretch while we're waiting here. We're gonna move on to a balance pose.
Now, bring your hands to the ground in front of you. Fingers pointing forward, wide fingers. Connect your thighs to your upper arm. That might involve going onto your toes, or maybe not. That's fine either way. As long as you find a way to connect those thighs to your upper arms. Move your shoulders forward, 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 and you'll feel a bit more weight coming onto your hands. Forward, 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 all the way until your forearms are vertical. Once you get into this position, you're already in crow. You don't have to lift your feet off the ground if you don't want to, but if you're feeling a little adventurous, lift one leg off the ground and then bring it back down. Lift the other one and bring it back down. If you want to, lift one and then try to lift the other. See if you can float a little bit in crow pose. Squeeze your legs together as if you're trying to touch your knees to one another. You can try to put your toes together to get into the full expression of the pose, and keep on looking forward, not down. This can be a challenging balance pose, so be playful with yourself. Slowly come back out of the pose, lower your feet down, get back in your deep squat, and roll your wrists around a little bit. Great work. Bhujangasana, crow pose. Next we'll do another one while we're here. Boat pose. Sit down on your bum, grab hold of underneath your knees and behind your thighs, and rock back a little bit until you can float your feet off of the ground. See if you can bring your feet to be level with your knees. Arms up, or you can keep them behind your thighs. Proud chest. You're already in boat pose. Can you straighten the leg? Can you straighten both legs? Can you be pretty and point your toes? Play around with it. Maybe your arms are out too. Maybe you've got a little bit of straight arm, straight leg. Be nice to yourself. Have some fun. And come on out of your boat pose. Let's move to our lunging sequence. Roll over onto your knees, bring your hands to the front of your mat, and find yourself in a plank position. Step forward with one leg. And if you don't get there in one fell step, then take many little steps. It's not a problem. Lower the back knee to the ground and slide the back leg back. More, more, more. You should already feel some stretching in the front of that back hip. From here, keep your hands on your knee or reach them up overhead, palms facing each other, chest shining up, and gaze following the fingertips. Untitled crescent lunge. Work on moving the hips forward and down to intensify the stretch in the front of that back hip. Close your eyes and focus on your breath.
This is a great pose because we spend a lot of time sitting in a position where both legs are flexed in front, and this position takes one leg back into extension. Really nice. Now bring both of the hands down to the ground, to the inside of that front leg, and open the knee out to the side, allowing the sole of the foot to come off of the ground. This is lizard's pose. It's really nice. Hip opener. From here you can stay on your hands, or you can move down to your forearms. But if that's not available to you, you stay on your hands the whole time. There's nothing wrong with that. Make the pose your own by finding your business and taking care of it. That might mean moving the shoulders away or towards that front knee, or pushing the knee away and out a little bit, or making small circles with the hips. Scour your acetabulum, your hip socket. Make some room in there. Yeah. Vriksasana, lizard pose. Now put your foot back onto the ground, hands either side of that front leg, and heel toe the foot over to the opposite side, and slowly lower the knee down to the ground for pigeon pose. Now your foot might move a little bit closer to your back knee. Your shin doesn't have to stay parallel to the front of the mat. It'll get there eventually, but we don't want to hurt the knee, so do what you need to do to take care of that knee. You can stay on your hands, or you can go down onto your forearms. What you want to avoid is sitting onto that butt cheek. So keep your hips level with one another and enjoy the stretch of the pose. You can close your eyes. You can even go all the way down onto your forehead and focus on your breath. We're going to slowly switch to the other side now. So come back up onto your forearms or onto your hands. Put some weight into the toes of the back foot, and then step back into your plank. And step the other leg forward. Lower the knee, put the toes on the ground, and here we are set up for Bhujangasana, crescent lunge on the other side. Make sure that the leg is really far back so you feel the stretch you need to feel. Hands on the front knee, lift the torso up, stay here, or option to move the hands overhead. Light extension of the spine, shining the chest up, and gaze follows the fingers. Move the hips forward and down to intensify the stretch in the front of that back hip. This is the hip flexor that you never use or stretch. So make sure you're giving it a little bit of love right now. Eyes closed. Focus on the breath. Last breath. And lower the hands down to the ground on the inside of that front foot, and allow the knee to open up to the side, sole of the foot freed from the ground. You can stay on your hands, or you can lower down onto your forearms. Whatever feels good for you today. Focus on your breath and the sensation of the opening of your hip. You can walk your hands and your shoulders away from the knee. You can move towards the knee. You can make little circles or figure eights with your hips. Whatever you need to do to take care of that hip. Close your eyes. Focus on this feeling in that hip, the sensation of the stretch and the opening. And make sure that you can still breathe smoothly. If your breath is constricted and you're holding your breath, it's a sign that you're going a bit too far in the pose. You need to back it off a bit to a point where you can breathe, and then work on intensifying it later on. Bring the knee back upright so the sole of the foot comes back to the ground. Heel toe the foot over to the opposite side and lower the knee down to the ground. Pigeon pose. Don't sit off on your butt. Keep your hips level. Either hands on the ground, forearms, or forehead for whatever version of pigeon pose works for you. Remember, you don't want to feel any strain in the front knee. So if you need to move that foot a little bit further to the back side of your mat to protect your knee, go ahead and do that. If you're not getting a stretch there and you want to get a deeper stretch, then move it forward. Enjoy the stretch in the back of that buttocks, and don't be such a tight ass. Breathe, close your eyes, focus on the feeling of the stretch. Pigeon pose. Kapotasana. Kapota meaning pigeon or some kind of bird. And last breath.
Sit down now onto that butt cheek and free your back leg. Swing it forward and find yourself in four-limbed staff pose. Legs straight, hands on the ground, and you can push into the ground to make your chest puff up, your spine straighten out. So push into the ground to help straighten up your spine, straighten your legs, and if you don't feel any stretch at all here, and this is really easy and boring for you, you can fold forward. But if this is feeling like there's something going on, then you need to spend some time in staff pose. Close your eyes and breathe. Use your arms to straighten up your back, the crown of your head reaching tall towards the ceiling. See if you can still breathe deeply in this pose. Active legs, active arms, quiet mind. Nice. Let's do some half spinal twists now. I'm going to turn to face you. Make sure you have one leg straight, the other leg bent. You're going to cross the foot over that knee. Hug the knee close to your body, and then turn to that side, the side of the bent leg. Turn that way. Hand onto the ground, proud chest, and twist to the side. Follow your breath in this. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, twist. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, twist. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, twist. Work with your breath and enjoy the stretch. And come on, back out of it. Switch sides, straighten the bent leg, bend the straightened leg across the ankle, over the knee. Hug the knee close to your body. Get really close and then look to that side, the side of the bent leg, as you place a hand on the ground near the hip. Straighten up the back and work on your twist. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, twist. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, twist. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, twist. Ardha Matsyendrasana. Half spinal twist. Focus on your breath, work with your breath, and enjoy the feeling of the pose. And come on out of the pose. Give yourself a little quick counter twist. And straighten out your legs. Next, we're going to go onto our abdomen. So roll your feet back. Come onto your belly. We're going to go into our cobra pose. We're going to start with baby cobra. So foreheads on the mat, hands underneath the shoulders, and toes pointing away from us, tops of the feet on the ground. Here we are, cobra pose. First one, baby cobra. Lift your head, chest, and hands off the ground. Look forward lightly, but don't hyperextend the neck. Just look a little bit ahead and engage your back muscles. Hold here and breathe here. Yeah, use your back muscles. Bhujangasana, cobra. And lower the hands down to the ground and lower the shoulders and head. Nice, let's do that one more time. Inhale, baby cobra, head, chest, and hands off the ground. And breathe. This time, lower the hands to the ground and push into the hands to go a little bit higher. Keep the elbows close to your body. Cobras don't have wings, so don't give yourself a winged cobra. Elbows touching the body as you push up just a little bit more. Maintain the activity you had from baby cobra in your back and just go a little bit further. And lower down. All the way. Forehead on the ground. Nice, last one. Let's do that again. So baby cobra, inhale, head, chest, and hands off the mat. Hands on the ground, elbows close to the body, up a little bit higher. See how high you can go while keeping your hips on the ground. Chances are, if you're straightening your arms, you might be putting your shoulders up in your ears, and that ain't so good. So get your shoulders away from you, elbows close to you, and work on your cobra wherever it is. Breathe here. One more breath. And lower down. Nice. Let's take a break in child's pose. So go back onto your knees and sit down on your heels. You can put your knees wide apart, about mat width apart, and lower your forehead down to the ground while outstretching your arms and relaxing into this passive pose. Child's pose. Nice and passive. Deep breath. All right, come back up out of it. The next pose that we're going to do is dolphin. It's a preparatory pose for the headstand, so we're working on our shoulder stability so we can eventually go to something more exciting. Go into a modified downward dog. So it's like a downward dog, but your forearms are still going to be on the ground. So tuck your toes, move your hips up and back. And for the dolphin pose, you're just going to move your forehead towards your hands and then away from your hands. Towards your hands and then away from your hands. If you want to make this easier, walk your feet a bit further away from your arms. Move your shoulders forward, shoulders back, butt up. Shoulders forward, shoulders back, hips up. If you want to make this harder for yourself, then walk your feet a bit closer towards your hands. Shoulders forward, shoulders back, butt up. Shoulders forward, shoulders back, butt up. And come back down to child's pose. Drop your knees mat width apart, sitting back on your heels, forehead to the ground, arms outstretched. And take a break. And come out of your child's pose. Swing your feet in front of you. Lie down on your back with your knees bent. Bring your heels close to your bum, close enough that you can even touch your heels. We're moving into a bridge pose. Use the strength of your legs and your hips to lift your hips up off of the ground, up high. Common mistake here is we don't lift the hips high enough, so really lift the hips up. Something that can help you is maybe squeezing the butt or just making sure that you're pushing into the feet away from the shoulders. From here, feel free to work your hands under your body and roll on top of your shoulders to try to get your shoulders and elbows closer together. You can interlace your fingers if you want. Sometimes that's helpful. And really drive your hips up to the sky. Make sure that your knees don't fall apart from one another. Try to keep your knees relatively close together. Keep your gaze pointed up towards the ceiling. Close your eyes and take a couple deep breaths in bridge pose. Just a little bit longer, keep the hips up. And lower the hips out of bridge pose, out of Stafford-Abbott, back onto the ground. Straighten the legs out on the ground. We're moving onto Vriksasana, the fish pose. You need to roll onto your arms, so roll to the side, place your hand under your bum, and on the other side too. Try to work your elbows as close together as you can. And once you're in the right position, release the weight of your hips on your hands. From here, puff your chest out, really proud, big chest up, and then rest your head on the ground. Just a couple moments here. A nice extension in the T-spine. Relax your head. The goal is not to get the top of the head on the ground. You don't want to hyperextend the neck. We're just puffing out the chest, using the arms, pushing firmly into the elbows in the ground, and opening the chest. This is called fish pose because when you do this with your legs locked in a crazy lotus pose, you're apparently able to float in the water. I don't know what kind of crazy yogi figured that one out, but that's where the name comes from. And inhale, tuck your chin. Exhale, lower down to the ground. Roll off of your hands
and give yourself a little break. 3 more poses now on the ground. Stay lying down. Bend one knee into your body. Bring it close, close, close. Wrap your hands around it and hug it close to your body. Feel the movement that's created by your breath. Every inhale, your abdomen inflates, and you can feel the pressure and the way that it changes. Now you got a thigh up against your abdomen. And breathe deeply here in wind relieving pose. It's called wind relieving pose because it's a pose that literally makes you fart. So if you're doing this in the comfort of your own home, let it go. Let all that negative energy go. Keep breathing deeply and hug the hands closer to your chest, the knee closer to your chest. Nice, and switch legs. Lower that leg down to the ground, bring the other leg up, knee close to the chest, and hug it into your body, almost as if you want to get your knee into your armpit. And breathe deeply, in and out through the nose. Close your eyes and relax here. And slowly release that leg, place the leg down on the ground. Take a moment here in Shavasana before moving to our before last pose. This is a spinal twist. So in order to do the twist, you stay lying down, but you're going to cross one knee over the other knee and look to the opposite side. It's just a bit hard to get the visual when I'm lying down on the ground. So you bring a leg up, you cross the knee over to the side, you roll onto your side, bring the knee all the way down to the ground, and then you're going to look in the other direction, and your hand can reach in the other direction too. Feel a nice twist in your back. It's not important if you get your shoulder all the way to the ground or if your knee comes off the ground. Just work it wherever you are. Don't force it too much. Just relax into the position. Get a nice twist in your back. And breathe. Fantastic. And come out of the pose, back to center, rolling onto your back. And switch sides, straighten the bent leg, bend the straight leg, bring it close to your body, and then roll over to the side. Bring the knee to the ground. Bring the gaze away from the knee, and reach your hand out. Maybe your shoulder will get to the ground, maybe it won't. Not important for today. Just feel a nice twist along the back. Breathe deeply. And relax. Couple more breaths. And come back to center. The last pose is happy baby pose. Bend your knees towards your abdomen. Bring them close, close. Bring your feet pointed up towards the ceiling and reach between your legs and grab the outsides of your feet. So your hand is on the outside of your foot, grabbing the pinky toe side of your foot, and your elbows are on the inside of your knees. Hands on the outside of the feet, elbows on the inside of the knees. From here, work towards getting your hips to stay on the ground. They may come off the ground. Bring them down towards the ground, and then you can bring your knees down towards your elbows. The soles of your feet are pointing up at the ceiling as if you were walking on a ceiling. And you can make baby faces if you feel the need to. Happy baby pose. Breathe deeply. This can be an intense hip opener for some. And relax. And release hold of your feet with your hands. Straighten your legs out on your mat. You find yourself a comfortable corpse pose, Shavasana, for your final relaxation. Another alternative, if you'd rather do some meditation, you can find a comfortable seated pose, perhaps cross-legged or sitting on your shins. Take some time to do your final relaxation and have yourself a wonderful day.